It's important to keep in mind that these boundaries can always be expanded to include more properties. So if someone on Claremont Road in the DCL area said, you know, you guys have been up and running for 2 years, I see the great things that are happening in these other districts, I would absolutely want to be willing to pay that special assessment. We could then consider expanding the boundaries. So there's nothing that is static about this. We can move this around and create a larger district if necessary. In fact, that was what was done in Milburn Short Hills, where I'm the executive director. We went from just the downtown core to 4 other ancillary districts. And so we went from 250 businesses we were serving to now over 500. And just for the record here, within this district, the orange area here, there's about 175 businesses, and about 75% are in the professional services, medical, food and drink, retail, beauty, and personal care. That is pretty typical for suburban New Jersey, and that was also part of my consideration, right? If there had been all offices here, I would have said, well, this is probably not the area you want to create a SID. Or if it had been all industrial, probably not the area. But because there's a pretty diverse mix, 75% of them are in those categories, I do think that a SID makes sense in terms of what services can be delivered. Next slide, please. Olivia touched on this, but when an executive director through the SID is brought on, you will be able to formalize your annual portfolio of services. And so we talked about holiday decorations, public art, public space activation, street furniture, signage. These are all critical things to enhance your community, to make it more walkable, more shoppable. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because Olivia touched on it, and our panel will certainly discuss what they've done in their communities. And so with that said, that dreaded dollar sign comes up because you all want to know, what is it going to cost? A fair question. So how is a SID paid for? A SID collects a special assessment, which is based on the assessed value of the commercial properties within the boundaries. So as you see in the chart here, there are 100 assessed properties, and their value in terms of the SID assessment, according to your tax collector, is $130,336,000. And we have a budget of $175,000, or our assessment is $175,000. So we want to collect $175,000 from properties worth $130 million. So how do we get there? We create an assessment rate, 0.001343%. I'm going to say that again, 0.001343%. That is how you get from $130 million down to $175,000. So that total assessment results in an average assessment of $1,750 per property and a median of $1,160. But now keep in mind that these numbers are slightly inflated because there are a couple of properties which are very, very high value. I was looking at the numbers earlier, 21% of the properties in the district will pay less than $600 a year. 18% will pay less than will pay less than $600, 18% will pay between $600 and $1,000, and 37% will pay within $1,000 and $2,000 a year. So 75% of the properties under this current assessment pay less than $2,000 a year. I'm certainly happy to speak with anyone in the room that is a property owner. I do have all of the property assessment numbers tonight, so if you're curious about your specific property, I can pull that up for you. And so once the assessment's collected, the money is then deployed for services. So as you can see from the income and expense charts, the proposed year 1 SID budget is quite simple. The special assessment accounts for 88% of the budget with potential additional funds from other sources. And this results in an annual budget of $197,000. So $175,000 collected through the special assessment, some other funding sources. We don't have any sponsorships or grants here. We could potentially get them. But we're looking at about $200,000 that will be deployed. And then we look, of course, over at the expense category. We're looking at $85,000 for staffing. That would include essentially a full-time director, which is incredibly important. I can tell, well, all of us can tell you that having a full-time director on staff is really critical when it comes to doing all of the work that's required to attract businesses, to retain businesses, to put on high-quality events. There are professional services like legal and accounting that are required, operations, to send things in the mail, you gotta pay for printing, all those kinds of things. But then look at the bulk, $80,000 will be put out onto the street. So if you look at the staffing as a direct benefit, as a direct service, and you look at programs and services, $165,000 out of $197 is dedicated to the businesses and property owners in the city. That is a terrific percentage of the overall operating cost that goes to serving these businesses. And that's what is so unique about a SID as compared to municipal government. A very, very large percentage of what's being assessed is being put right back into the business community. So that's a short overview. I promised it would only be about 10 minutes. You have some of the best SID minds in the state sitting at this table, and I encourage you to ask questions. This is going to be a free-flowing discussion. We want to answer, this can be a very esoteric topic. Not all of you are professional SID consultants, and so there are lots of questions that you may have. Certainly ask about the projects that these folks have done, the successes they've had in their communities, or the details of what we've done. As kids. So with that, your wonderful Executive Director, Olivia Manning. Thank you all so much.
Woo!
Okay, so now, thank you guys. You guys do so much stuff. I know what you guys do, and for you guys to be here tonight, I can't even begin to say thank you.
We're all very tired.
Yeah, I know. I'll buy you a drink after. No, you guys want to go home. I don't blame you. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a little bit of an introduction so you can get to know these folks. And what I'm going to ask of all of you is if you can obviously tell me the name of your district, whether or not it's a bid, because I know there's one of you that's not. How many years your district has been in existence. If you can provide an annual budget or assessment number, and how many businesses that you might have in your district as well. And then if there's any one particular event, or if there's a specific project that you want to share that your community does. So Stephen, we'll start with you right over here.
Start with Karen.
You want to start with Karen at the other end? Because you're done talking. He's done talking. He's great. Karen, where are you from?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Karen Demian, and I'm with Downtown Cranford. I actually grew up in Cranford, so and when I left high school, I never thought I'd be back. But here I am, very involved in town and loving it. Downtown Cranford was actually the first special improvement district in the state. It was established in 1985. I've been the director for 2.5 years. I had the pleasure of starting in the middle of COVID. And it's actually been a really amazing experience. We have, let me get my little cheat sheet. We have 250 businesses, 158 properties, and we have a budget of $180,000. We raise about another $100,000 through sponsorships and events and things like that to run everything that we have going on. And probably our signature event is our Scarecrow Stroll. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it, but we
tried
love Halloween.
We tried our Scarecrow event, and it didn't work for us.
Well, when Cranford first started, 14 years ago, they had 30 scarecrows, and so now we have 135. So you always have to start somewhere. But I think one of the best things about being a director is just working with the property owners and the business owners and the community. I don't know if there's any business owners in the room at all tonight. It is a lonely, hard job, and there's just a lot of bumps along the way, and I really feel so proud to be an advocate for our businesses and share with them grant opportunities, but just also kind of like hearing their story and how we can support them. I'm really proud that we currently have 0.4% vacancy rate. Just this past week, I had 2 established restaurants and 1 retail store reach out to us for space, and it's hard to kind of turn them away. We just don't have the space right now. So right now, knock on wood, I don't know what I'm doing, but things are going okay in Cranford. But also our property owners are really happy because their tenants are happy. And when you're a property owner, I don't know if there's any property owners in the room, but that relationship's really important. It's more than just like a business transaction, it's a relationship. And so the fact that our property owners are just as happy as our businesses, it makes me really proud. So I'll pass it on to Kelly.
Thank you, Karen. Natalie?
Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie. I am currently the downtown managing consultant for Downtown Somerville. I'm also was recently retained to do work for the Boundbrook Revitalization Partnership. And I also work for the New Jersey Redevelopment Authority. So that's jack of all trades, the master of none. I started in downtown Somerville about 5 years ago. We have over 200 businesses. We have about 175 properties. We are probably one of the districts with one of the highest assessment rates. So our assessment rate in downtown Somerville is 0.087. And so our annual budget this year for the first time is almost $1 million. We're at $971,000 this year. That includes about $900,000 in assessment revenue and about another $75,000 in grants, as well as sponsorships that we go out and get from our local partners. We pride ourselves on our relationship with our local borough. We are the county seat, so we do a lot of collaborative work with the county. And similar to Karen, I think the most rewarding part about operating in a downtown district like downtown Somerville and now the Bound Brook Revitalization Partnership is seeing businesses grow and thrive. I have a business owner named Teresa Bonner. She owns Third Child Wellness Boutique. If you're in Somerville, stop by, it's amazing. She does skincare and essential oils and stuff like that. And I remember when I first started working in Somerville, I would see her all the time. She was just a local resident. She had 2 kids in the school system. She shopped downtown. She was always at the local coffee shop. I sparked up a conversation with her. We became close. And one day I seen her with her laptop out and I said, "Hey, what are you working on?" She goes, "I'm working on my 3rd child." And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "My mother-in-law wanted me to have a 3rd child." She goes, and I said, "How about we partner on this venture? I want to open my own business." She goes, "And that will be our 3rd child and we'll raise it together." And they started out as an online business. During COVID, they were doing specialty boxes that they would send out in the mail. And then one day she goes, "Hey, the next time there's a vacancy, I'm ready." She goes, "Let me know." Shortly thereafter, we got a vacancy on our pedestrian plaza, Division Street, and I called her. She was the first call I made. The business was moving out. It was a skateboard shop. They were literally taken off in the dead of night. I called the property owner. I said, "Hey, do you know these guys are moving out?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I heard." I said, "I have a tenant for you." So I gave her his number. She called him, and that weekend they met and she signed a lease. And 2 months later, we were doing a ribbon cutting at her business, and she told the story about this being her 3rd child. And she's been in business now, I want to say, about 2 years, and she's doing an incredible job, and her business is growing, and she's opening up, she's considering opening up a mobile set bar. And it's stories like that that really make this job worthwhile, right? Because it was our work together that connected her with the space. It was our work promoting her business when she first opened that got that first wave of business for her, right? And so we get to experience more than 200 of those stories. And so, it's an incredible work. The people that you find in this genre are very passionate about what they do, and we're passionate about small business and advocating for small business. Oh, that's different.
Sorry.
I'll stop talking now. I'll turn it over.
I just want to know if that's the sign to stop talking.
No, it's a sign to keep going.
Do we have the
Wake up, everybody.
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Jay Spinelli. I am the Assistant Executive Director for the Township of Union. Does everyone know where Union Township is?
I do.
Okay, seeing some nods, which is good. I'm also I help with economic development for the area. I also help run the Police Athletic League for the township. But I'm a little bit new within the realm. So let me explain to you, how many business owners do we have here by show of hands, please? Okay, how many landlords do we have here by show of hands? Okay, great. Well, I was both before I actually started working for the township. I was a business owner and we owned the property. And we were very much involved in the town for 7 years. We owned a business that was called Terminal Millends, the decorating store. I was around, I see, there's some people know us? Oh, well, we're still around, by the way, my father would like to hear from you. So, we're plug, put the sign up. No, seriously, it has been, when the pandemic hit, I joined the Township of Union to work with them. as the assistant executive director, and we have 154,000. I'm gonna throw the numbers at you, but it's, you know, you've heard this before from everybody else, and you'll continue. It's 154,000 that we have, that we get budgeted from the taxation. We have over 170 businesses involved. We are looking to expand our special improvement district, okay? It is extremely important from my point of view as an individual who was one of a bunch of you here, that you have someone out there who can fight the fights that you want, who can be the voice for you and can help with working with the board, allowing you to know that you have someone there that you can call on when there's an issue. We just had a situation in town where a car unfortunately ran through one of the businesses. And I was going into a meeting and I got a phone call from the police department. They let me know. The first thing I did was reach out to the business owner. I said, look, there's, you know, just so you know, I'm here for you. And she goes, oh, for what? I'm making breakfast. And I said, oh my goodness, well, you have a car that just ran through your business, you might want to come on down. So it's that type of connection that everybody up on this board, and of course, Olivia is gonna have with the businesses and the landlords. And it makes a huge difference on a day-to-day basis. Knowing that you have someone there, I mean, we work with bringing, you know, sidewalk cleaning, not only events, but again, we spoke about working with grants to help the businesses with signage, possibly with storefronts. It's a day-to-day relationship that you have. I have 2 phones. One separates my life, one separates my work, okay? And my work is actually my life. My wife hates it because it goes off more than the other. It's on silent right now, but she goes crazy when it goes off, and it's all weekend because we care. It's not just us sitting there going, oh, when's the paycheck coming? You know, when are we gonna get paid? How's it gonna happen? It's every 2. It doesn't, that's not how it works. And I can tell you right now, hearing that Olivia is doing it for nada speaks volumes. And it just means that when the time comes and those funds start coming in, you're gonna get the grant money that's gonna come through. You're gonna have sponsorships. You're gonna have events that are gonna come out. It's going to bring the foot traffic that you're gonna wanna see within your business. It's gonna help you as a business owner. It's gonna help landlords. Landlords are gonna have an easier time. I speak to my landlords all the time, helping them bring people in. I'm gonna tell Karen something. I'm gonna tell you all something that Karen doesn't know from Cranford, which is, so there's a great business called Urban Burger, okay? I am stealing the second location to bring it to Union because it's so good. Don't tell them I told you that. So, but the point is, we all work together to help fill those voids. I know you said you had a gap that you're looking to fill. We had the gap too. Union had nail salons and hair salons. When we owned the business, my father used to walk up and down the street and come back in the store and tell me, there's 40 hair and nail salons. It's driving me crazy. We gotta do something about it. Without someone like Olivia to go into the township and say, hey, we might want to build an ordinance to try to change this. We might want to help bring in different businesses like a burger joint, like maybe an Indian restaurant. We know restaurants are big business, and it's people like Olivia and the people up on this panel that are going to make those things happen for all these different towns. So I think I took long enough, so I even hit the lights, so I kept going. But, you know, again, it is such a positive, and I have to say, it's all these wonderful people that allow your businesses to run on a day-to-day, but also to expand and grow.
Thank you, Jay. Lisa.
My name is Lisa Ellis. I'm the Director of Business Development for Borough of Madison. But I told Olivia, Burnsville was my downtown growing up, because I grew up in Hardin Township. So coming to the Dairy Queen and Mobel's and the Stillies and the bowling alley, where this is where I spent a lot of my childhood. I fell into this job accidentally. I was on the Board of Education for 16 years in Madison, and as part of that, I was the liaison to something in the borough called the Downtown Development Commission, which is very much like this, but not like it at all. We have it was created by the mayor in the 80s, a group of business owners and landlords to help improve the downtown. That has stayed that way. We still have the Downtown Development Commission. So I have 15 bosses there. I have also affiliated with the Madison Main Street Foundation over there, so there's another 6 or 7 bosses over there. And then I work for the borough itself. We are not a SID, we are not a DIV. And I am so jealous of these people. I have to beg, borrow, and I haven't been forced to steal yet. to make the money necessary to run the programs we run. And we do a lot. We have,